Up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you again with yet another car video. Rom's personal body game testimony. Rom's personal body game testimony. Because people know I push it, but even with the many people adopting it, there's still some people say, well, no, that's limited or something, or they try to say, well, this style is better. Well, you know what? Every style got its merits, but from a personal point of view, body game has been supreme. That's why I'm gonna say personal, because let's talk about that thing called game. Like if you look at any angle of it, I've already been through it. I've already been through it. Or even a looks thing. Even a looks thing. Don't go by a 56-year-old wrong. Anybody follow me on IG a couple times? I shared pics of me when I was young. So, eh, and women have always liked my eyes. So women were saying, oh yeah, he cute, he handsome. You know, even during the colorist, days of the 80s and stuff, some women say, for a dark skinned guy, he looks good. I'm just being real. I try to be humble about it most of the time, but I'm just sharing that to give a point. Because really, the only woman who ever said you ugly, only woman who ever said that, it was also one of the first women to look me in the eye and say I love you. So multiple times. So and she was just fucking with me. So even that. But let me start at the beginning, man. I started learning the game in the streets, man. Just growing up, we didn't have social media. We had to go out and talk to women and stuff. And then, like a big thing is approaching women, cold approach or choosing signals. Oh, I didn't operate off of choosing signals. I did not operate off of choosing signals. I was aggressive when I was in my teen years and stuff. So street approach with guys paying like 2,000, all these courses for street approach, that was easy. Just walk up, hey, how you doing? What's up? All of that and everything. That was easy. And then had to really perfect it in high school. I went to an all male high school, Archbishop Care, all male. So if a man wanted a woman there, if he attended there and wanted a woman, oh, he had to book him in the streets. That's like slang from the 80s at least, where book them mean, get their phone number, put it in your phone book and stuff, get their phone number. So you go to an all male school, when you saw a woman walking down the street, you had to book her. Because you didn't have him, obviously you didn't have him in class, you know. Or only time we would get them up there is when we had school plays and stuff. Of course, everybody tried to be a part of the school play. So, and even then, you had to have some level of aggression. And then if not on the streets, in DC, had to go to the go. Had to book them there. Parties, shit. I could give a seminar or webinar how to book women at a party. That was easy. You just figured out where the women were. You had to be aggressive. You couldn't stand on the wall or anything. Hey, that mastered by the time I got out of high school. And quite frankly, sex now, it wasn't like it would be later in life, but you still get some sex here and there. But the percentage out of the women I would get their numbers from, dance with, and then actually have sex with, it was a low percentage. Now some people would say it was high. But for me, I'm like, shoot. I would say I'll put the kill ratio maybe, what would I put it in? 10%? And that was low. Trust me, that was low. I know some people be acting like if you get 3%, you're doing something. I'm like, you get 3%, please. And even then, to outsiders, to the outside eyes or somebody like that, it would look like, oh yeah, you doing that, man? Oh, that's great. Nah, not at all. Especially when I first got into body game. Wait a minute. Just coughing, y'all. Just coughing. This weather, it's been like 40 degrees at night where I'm at. I'm like, shit. I know some people putting on the heat. People complaining about cold. Shit's ridiculous, but that's a whole other conversation. It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy this cold here. Between whitey, the Jews, the bourgeois Negroes, the alien Greys, and Majin Buu. Anyway, yeah, so that was that game. Like, and even in college, I was aggressive. The women were right there, but I was still aggressive, more direct, more of a direct person. I was never big on indirect because in high school, you see a woman in the streets, you couldn't be hesitating. You couldn't be like, oh, we see each other around. You might not see that woman again at the go-go party, whatever. You saw that woman right there. You had to get that number right there. And plus, because of that, you developed an extremely thick skin. So that, that aspect of the game, before I turned 18, like I said, got some play, but not what I could have got. And, I played sports in high school and stuff, but, nobody... It wasn't like gyms weren't big back then. Gyms weren't big. That was a distinct subculture back then. So, all he was doing is body weight and stuff. And, I wasn't like muscular, Now, height was good. Height was good. People say 6 feet and stuff, but when did I hit 5'11"? High school, and that's barefoot. So, and like I said, some girls thought I was cute, if not chocolate skin, but even then, nobody was like, no, let's put it like this. No woman to my face ever said I was ugly except that one, the one who said she was in love with me. So, and even she said she was just fucking with me. So, all right, so you got all that stuff. So, okay, so you getting the street game stuff, you getting the black pill stuff, all that stuff. All the stuff people say, so all that stuff before the age of 18. Before the age of 18. Because even when I was young, I was always one of the taller kids in class, except for the basketball players. And a whole lot of them, I was the same height back then. That 6 feet thing, that's something they made up. So, then my point is, every angle you want to look at, I was already there. Every angle you want to look at, I was already there. And only still, did all right. All right. Get to college, still, got a little bit more play and stuff. All right. So that other thing people like to talk about, including, like to say, oh, well, if you get money and status, that beats it out. Nah, Mark. I ain't gonna explain why I use that word or name, but somebody thought that. Well, I'll tell you what, in the late 80s, now I wasn't rich by any means. Let's just say because I'll just say I was in grad school and I had a certain status attached to it, and I had some money. To at least spend on women. Because when you talk about money and status, that ain't so much how much money you even got in your bank account. There's some people, they make it $1 million but don't spend it. It's how much money you spend. That's the key. That's the key thing to understand. So I say late 80s, I was taking women to concerts, fancy restaurants, all of that. Shit. My sex or even kiss percentage dropped down. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. You're supposed to have all this stuff. And still had the basic game. I didn't have any problem approaching. That's why I got so many dates. Like, if I specifically talked about dates, I'd blow people away. Because the shit hasn't changed to this day. That's one thing I peeped. There's people be talking about social media and stuff, but you still got to go out with the person. You still got to meet with them. That hasn't changed. You still got to meet with them. You still got to date. Because even on dating sites and online and stuff, a lot of potential stuff gets killed once the two people meet. And that's the bottom line. That's just a way to meet. Because really, they had personal ads, dating ads and stuff back then, just not the same, not with the same technology. So even that's not, it's still, no matter what, how you meet them, you still got to talk with them. So good at that. Good at least going on a date, getting a date, going on, I got ticket stubs from the concerts, going to see, the different bands, different plays, all of that. You know, so I could have the money spent on the women. And really got played a few times. Seriously played. Which, you know, some people who knew me back then say, Ron, you should have known better. You know better than this. Some women told me that. You know, there was a couple times I was like, a couple times went on a date with some women, spent all this money, took them out. I ain't dropped them off at their house, dropped them off at their cousin's house. And I looked at that shit. It happened twice. Twice. Some man become male be asked to go. Don't look like no uncle or something. And I was like, damn, I was a cab driver for it. Nowadays we say Uber driver. And I'm like, but hold up. I spent this money and all that. And sometimes, yeah, every now and then get some sex from it. You know, maybe a good slobber down, get a good kiss. So it's like, okay. But had all the stuff. Just didn't have that body that stood out. Women like my face. Okay, check. Had some, didn't have any problem talking to women, approaching them, check. All of that. And like I said, for some people it'd be great, right? And let me point out something. During that time, there were a few women who made it clear, oh, nothing sexual was going to happen. Okay. All right. But then after, like in the 90s, I had to really start getting in shape, and it was I'll just say federal law enforcement. I'll leave it at that. Incidentally, if somebody ever say they've been in federal law enforcement and something like that, ask them what was their time running 2 miles, how many push-ups they do, what was their exercise, what was their scores. Ask them. And if they hesitate or something or act like they didn't have to do it, then they're lying. They are lying. Because you got to have that. So, you know, I was training for some stuff. And that's when I really discovered body game. That's when I really discovered, even though before then, women had told me some stuff. Women had told me some stuff then, but I wasn't listening because what I was doing, it was working what I thought was a good extent. It really wasn't. Really wasn't at all. You know, now it was alright. It was more than most men, but still, it wasn't. When I really started getting that body tighter, I had been in the gym before, but I was kind of shamming. I wasn't, you know, lift some machine weights or something like that only, you know. And you know, I could still play ball, you know, so I ain't think about it, you know. Because even before hitting the gym, shoot, I can hang in a pickup game with D1 college basketball players. I can hang. I pissed one off. Dude, like 6'9" and stuff. He told everybody clear out. They say, well, Rom, how'd you guard against somebody 6'9"? Like, real quick, for anybody who like played ball, the key to playing defense is your feet. Key is just playing your feet. Two things. Just anybody playing ball, stay on your toes, and don't watch the body. Just focus on the ball. And I pissed off this 169 player because it's a D1 athlete, and you know, I ain't have like that. The muscles and stuff, but I can still D up. You know, and I had some weight on me. But it wasn't like sloppy, because I could still run. You know, and anybody see me move now, they can tell, oh, okay, he played ball. Yeah, so I was D'ing them up, but you know, so it's cool. But I, you know, still didn't have those muscles, didn't have that physique. But you know, it's training for this particular job and stuff, and it was just doing all body weight stuff, push-ups, running, and sit-ups, because I had to be able to like qualify. You know, incidentally, would have been the same. The scores I got on the test would have qualified me for the Navy SEALs. I thought about that too. I was like, man, but I didn't want to go through Hell Week. But anyway. You know, so, but I started noticing women were they were getting different with me. Even when I just got started really like doing all that, I started noticing the difference. I mean, I had like a couple women. In fact, it was one of those women I was the cab driver for. Oh, she sucked her brother's dick. She was like, wait a minute. A couple other ones and stuff. In fact, it was several women, a couple that I didn't even go out with or friends on me. They weren't even looking. All of a sudden, they got real friendly and stuff. You know, from like either going on that platonic date with a brother to doing vile things to a man's body. Like licking all over and stuff. One woman was like, shit, man, turn on your stomach. She was licking me all over my back and everything. I was like, man. Shoot. And that's when I really started noticing the difference. And I was thinking about that shit, right? I was like, damn, all that stuff I was doing before, you know, I could approach like all the stuff that people paying for now and people fighting for now. Because think about it. Back then, I could take a woman. I had I could approach, boom, zero approach anxiety, you know. None of them had a problem with my face, you know. Good height, right? Because anything above 5'9", that's above average. So, you know, I wasn't 5'9". I was taller than that. And that's barefoot, so put on the shoes, hit the 6 foot mark. All right, so, okay. All right. So, you know, for the black pillows, boom, it was there. Everything was there. Just the body didn't stand out. It was decent, but it didn't stand out. All of a sudden, you get the body right, all of a sudden, the same women. One even told me. She was like, nah, it's all about the body. Now, this was one woman. Oh, man. I remember we went out someplace. It was a New Year's Eve. It was a New Year's Eve and stuff. And he gave me a hug at midnight. Saw me a few years later with a better body, foul things on her living room floor. Oh man. And she said it was just the body. They just started saying that. They were like, everybody was peeping that. And that's when I really started paying, because I was in the gym more and I was paying attention to the dudes who were having the pussy thrown at them. The pussy thrown at them. You ain't had to go hard or anything. So I was just like, man, this shit worked. Now, of course, you know, some people, they want to fight it and everything. I would say this. The only way to really understand it is to actually try it. Just try it. 6 months. Hit the gym. Come back and see what the difference is. Seriously. Because it ain't even like something you see, one thing. When I talk about anything, I don't talk about something based off of some theory. If I haven't seen it or experienced, I had to at least eyewitness it, like put my eyeballs like, okay, this is what's happening right here. Not some video where you don't know the context and quite frankly, people fake. Or somebody telling, because people can lie. I'm saying I'm sitting here watching the woman stole the pussy out of motherfucker, and I was like, okay, what's the difference between me and him? Oh, he got a muscular body. He muscular. I remember like this one D1 player. I mean, the women were telling me they were fucking him and sucking his dick. The women told me. He ain't telling me. He ain't mentioned. They telling me. You know? And then I remember some instances, even back in college and stuff. Really, even going back to like 8th grade. I remember we had a little basketball team. And, you know, the girls wanted to go to the game just to see somebody in some shorts. They were like, yeah, we got to go see him in some shorts. It was right there all along. And you know what, even when I was young, women told me, but I was just like, because sometimes you get told that and then, you know, you still don't want to like do the work. And it is work. And to me, it's kind of funny when I see guys, they want to say all this other stuff. And look, like I said, it works, but what type of work do you want? You want that work where you doing all this stuff and still so-so, or you want that work where she going crazy over your body and like handing you the 90, going after you, coming up, handing you the phone number? I mean, like, you know, back in those days, especially back in those days, because like, you know, had the look and everything, the body. I had women coming up to me on the street handing me their number. Like one woman was I was in the parking lot of a grocery store. She came up, she driving a little pickup truck. She just handed me a number. So like, man, you know? And even now, I got some dudes who hit me up privately. They're part of my inner circle. They telling me some stories. Women just going crazy over them and stuff. You know, making it easy. I mean, I seen so much shit. You know, parties and stuff back then. That's when I first saw the real shadow world. And I was like, and it was always about the body, you know? Always about the body, you know? Being at a party and stuff where I'm getting sandwiched by a couple dimes. Dimes. You know? Like if Instagram was around, like, you know, if IG was around back then, these women have about 500,000 subs each. They would definitely be IG stars. And, you know, but it was the body build. And like I said, once they saw that I was in good shape, a lot of women would tell me straight up how they were really looking at me. And they would say it, even if for whatever reason couldn't hook up with them, like they had a boyfriend or something. They'd be like, oh yeah, body. And they still do that to this day. Just tell me what's up. Because I was just at my gym and stuff. I was talking with this young lady, nice looking young lady and stuff. We had just met and stuff and made a joke. I said, yeah, I got to get up there, get in shape. She looked me up and down. It's like, no, you looking good. So, yeah. Shit, even at my gym now and stuff, for an old guy, I get a lot of young women be like real friendly. I might try to get one of them to do a video with me. If she listening, you listening, bud, get ready. But anyway, though, just wanted to share that because I don't speak lightly. And I mean, I've done the work. I went through it. Instead of y'all going through all this other stuff, especially some younger guys, just jump right into it. Just jump right into it. Stuff become easier. Instead of you got to chase around, the women will come to you. You know? And that's my style. Like I said, the other styles, approach, or whatever you want to do, even money and status work, but the body game blew them all away. You got that, Mark? So, anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. Y'all probably say, this don't look like your usual background. Dude, I got a life outside of YouTube, yeah. I gotta go handle some business. So anyway, y'all. Business. Anyway, y'all. That's all I got for now. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.